I'm very happy to be part of Resident Success because you were a very good coach and actually gave me really good advices for my interview. So I'm really grateful for that. Okay, so I did medical school in Honduras. Then I decided to go to the US and pursue USMLE examination. And I started attending like Kaplan courses, and that's what like really helped me. But I did took in-center classes, and I guess that really helped me because in those type of courses you get to meet people, and these people sometimes they're really helpful with contacts. And yeah, practically that's how I start like USMLE journey. In Honduras, it's very difficult for like medical students to go to US because it's a really expensive pathway that you take once you decide that you're gonna go through the journey of USMLE. So no, my university actually we took classes in Spanish, and it was nothing related to USMLE, not similar, I guess. So it's like a personal decision based on how support from your parents you have and how much you want it. Because I know some people who work and they save money and then they decide to study in their houses for USMLE. So yes, actually in my country it's not very common to people pursue USMLE. So when I graduated in November of 2017 in 2016, sorry, in Honduras, and then I decided that I wanted to go to US to pursue the steps. So I moved to the US in January of 2017, and I started my Kaplan course. I took a course of 10 months that basically they provide you a student visa for 1 year, because you have 10 months of in-center and then you have 2 months of vacation. So that's what I did. So I basically I studied for step one for 1 year, and I took my first step one on I guess it was July of 2018. It took more than 1 year because, as you know, like our language barriers and stuff like that, it was, for me, was something completely new. I have never taken standardized tests. So basically it was something new, and most, like, I think that would be the most hard part, that we are not used for standardized tests. So that's like an advice that I give to every IMG who is pursuing like to do the steps, is just to talk to people, ask them if they know a doctor that might help you doing observerships and like rotations. I met a person in Kaplan who she's an anesthesiologist in her country, but she was doing the courses with me, and she knows like a lot of people. So basically we just went to UCLA, sorry, and we asked the program director of nephrology clinic if we can like shadow the fellows of nephrology, and she was like, yeah, come on, when do you want to come? So basically write emails, talk to people that you know that might help you. Don't be shy, just like ask. If you get a no, just knock on another door and just keep going. Like, you never know, like, if the person that is besides you knows a doctor that might help you. So just ask. That's like my advice. Ask and never be let down because you get a no for an answer. Just continue to the next person. Actually, we start as observers, but then we gain the confidence of the program director and the fellows, and they let us present patients to the program director. So like we make our way through, and we were actually doing stuff in the clinic, not just observing. Actually, I did not do any research. Well, we started doing our research, but it's very difficult because it was like an idea from the group, was the group of me and my friends that we were assisting to UCLA, Harvard. We came with an idea because we noticed that there was a lot of patients with nephrology issues, that they were in contact with pesticides in their countries and coming to US, and they had kidney disease. So we wanted to make a research, but actually it was like our idea, so it was kind of hard because we didn't have any funding. But that is, we have it on hold. Maybe we can do it once we get funding. But like, as I told you, you just have to, like, if you want to do research, just send lots of emails, because I know people who are like into research and they are very interested in that. So they just send emails and they ask people like, you are doing research, can I join? I want to help. And that's the way how they get it. So I applied just to internal medicine because from a friend I heard like you just have to go towards what you want, and I wanted internal medicine, so I just applied to internal medicine. Then I decided to get the aid from an app. As you told, we have a lot of technologic aid right now, so I decided to get a match a resident, and I do, you just like enter your scores and everything, you need a visa and stuff like that, and then the app comes with a list of programs that you might get in, or they might call you. So I did that. I applied to 94 programs. You should be smart with where do you spend your money, because as I told before, this is a very expensive journey, so you have to be smart how you will do your spending. Talk with friends that they were preparing for interviews, but I guess what really helped me is the advice of someone who does not know anything about you, and in this case it was you, because like friends, they tend to help you, but they don't tend to be honest with you because maybe they don't want to make you feel bad. So I guess like in my personal experience, you were very, very helpful, and I guess you gave me very good advices. Yes, actually, you're very nervous because this is going to define your life. So yes, it's very nerve-wracking. But once you get to the interview, most of the people who are interviewing, they're really nice. They're just people that wants to know you. So just feel comfortable, try to be yourself, and just answer as sincere and clear as you can. Don't try to make up stories that you don't know, or don't try to be a person that you're not in. So just be confident. And they were really nice, actually. The people who interviewed me, they were really nice. It was just like a normal conversation, so I felt very comfortable with them. Well, let me tell you, from all the 94 programs that I apply, I just get to interviews. So it was very, I was like very stressed, and I was like kind of sad because I just got two interviews. But I got a word from a friend, and he was like, you just only need one good interview to match, so don't worry. Absolutely. So my first interview, it was actually at the place that I met at Chicago. That was my number one choice. So the advices that you gave me, they really helped. They were very into ideas that make the program get better. They were really into that. So I used that trick that you gave me, and they were very, very happy. And she was like, "Oh my, this is what I'm looking in my residence to make me help and make the program better with ideas and qualify improvements and lists." So I remember that I told you, like, you asked me if there was some issue that I have with maybe an attending or something like that. So I use that example, and then I say, "Oh, but I did a checklist to improve my flaw." And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so glad to hear that from you." And she was very happy with that answer. I definitely recommend, like, to my friends that are coming to this journey to like hire some advice or coach for interviews, because it's very important. Like, once you get that interview, just want to give 110% to match, because you don't need 20 interviews. You just need one, but you need to be good, and you need to show that you are a team player and you're a good acquirement to their program. I went with what I wanted. Like, that's another advice that I give to everyone. Just go for the program that you want and the program that you feel more comfortable in, because that is the place that you're gonna spend your 3 years of residence, 5 years of residence. So just go for what you feel that you fit in. So I did that. I fell in love with that program, and that's the one that I ranked first. Like, I have friends who got pre-match in New York City, and they were like, rank New York City first, but I don't see myself in that program, so I decide to go with my gut.
And I think people are starting to catch on a little bit. What my approach it is personalized, right, to you. Because when I said something at one time, like, "You're a good candidate," and you said, "Really? You're a good candidate?" And you said that too. And I said, "Yes, you're a good candidate. This is why you're getting interviews. You have to believe it. When you get in there, it's a mutually exclusive thing. It's what they can give you and what you can give them. So start believing it, you know? So a lot of times when people come across as very negative or down or depressed, it shows. So you have to leave all that at the door, and then you have to turn on your game face and stuff. And that's why, look, just like what you said, if somebody is a professional athlete, right? Let's say Michael Jordan or somebody like a really good NBA player, do they go on the court before practicing at least 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 jump shots? No. And do they get a coach that is just practicing with other high school coaches? No. They get the best of the best.
No.
The person who's been through this really grueling process, which is like NBA, NFL, right? It's like being picked like that, like it's like the draft.
Yes.
You can't mess around. You can't. There are a lot of people who, and I know that my rates are extremely reasonable compared to other programs out there that are like doing packages and really like crazy like things to sell you. And for me to have to, if you're coming to me, you should be asking me if I can help, and if I can help, it's then your decision. I shouldn't have to, like, like convince you that now this is like time for you to take action, because it's your choice. Like in the end, after you've spent so many hours and so much money and so much time, this is like the last frontier, right? This 15
Yes.
minutes decide the rest of your life.
Like, I want to pursue a fellowship, so I was wondering if it's like, I believe it's a good thing to do that since day one, like, you start working towards your fellowship once you start residency. So how did you like pursue like neurology, and how was it for you?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question. Wow, you guys are so smart. I learned so much more from you, I feel, than you learned from me. But that is really good to keep that in your mind. The way that I would approach it is, first of all, make the contact in the department slowly, figure out who is who. Remember people's names, right? Figure out who is going to be like your mentor. You might be assigned a mentor, or you could just go to somebody and pick them as your mentor. And then find in the department, like let's say after internal medicine, you want to do cardiology, find the cardiologist you like. You know, and that person is going to be the one who carries you through and guides you and writes your letters in the long run. You can even pursue outside rotations if there's something that there's not in the hospital. You can start identifying those. But possibly intern year is a little too early to go full speed on that. But I would start like doing your like due diligence, like looking around, making notes, like, oh, this person's cardiology or this person's endocrinology. And then like you can even as a resident go for like meetings. Like once a year, they're allowed to like, they have funding for educational meetings. So find the one that is going to be specific to you. A lot of people go to like the, you know, like the internal medicine one, but you may just skip that and just start going to the one that's going to be specific for your fellowship and start making contacts with the fellowship director, right? So that way you are like thinking like miles ahead of people, you keep in touch. And then, you know, again, you can start looking at research initiatives and things in that department as well. But aside from thinking that far ahead, just look at what is ahead, make yourself helpful, and you, I think, already have those qualities. And if you want to know how you're doing, always go to like the attending that is supervising you in that current month and ask them like, you know, I'm having a little trouble with this. Would you mind explaining this to me? Or how do you think I can approach it better? And, you know, sometimes people don't realize how to do that, including myself, you know, because you just think showing up, doing the work is good enough. You don't realize that there is room, like it's not just a fixed thing that you have to wait for the feedback at the end of the rotation. You can get the feedback and improve before you get like a bad evaluation.
I'm studying for step 3. I just apply with my step 1, step 2 CK, and step 2 CS. So
to do that. And step 3 is meant to be taken in intern year, but make sure every interesting patient you see or a patient you see, you try to then, you know, look that up and learn that pathophysiology and how you would approach them in CCS. And then there's a patient in your brain when you're doing those.
yes.
You know, and it's possible. And I think you're going to be doing great. I have no doubt. We'll stay in touch. And thank you again so much for having coffee with me and giving all your nice advice and feedback to all these future doctors. We really appreciate it. And it's like paying it forward. All the karma is going to be coming back. Good karma.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me anytime. And once again, I will be always thankful for you because you really helped me through this journey.
Oh, thank you. That is so sweet. You guys always make my day.
Okay. Bye-bye, Dr.
Bye.